You think they'll love you? You think you'll win them over with your kindness? Think again. You've spent too long trying to play by their rules, dancing around their expectations, thinking you're going to earn their approval. But you're not going to win them over. You never will. And here's the kicker. You'll never be the hero they want you to be. You're not some saint, some shining knight on a white horse. No, you're something much darker. You're the villain. And that's the point, isn't it? They'll hate you. They'll despise you. They'll try to destroy you. And that's when you know you've finally broken through. The moment you stop caring about their opinions, the moment you stop pretending to be what they want you to be, that's the moment you become truly dangerous. That's the moment you free yourself. You think they want you to be nice? No. They want you to be predictable, to be small, to conform. But you're here to break that, to shatter the illusion that anyone at all, has the power to define you. Think about it for a second. Every rule they've placed, every expectation they've drilled into you, it's all designed to keep you in line, designed to keep you quiet. They want you to sit still, to smile, to be good. But you know what? None of that gets you anything worth having. The only thing it gets you is a life of mediocrity, a life where you bend and break for the sake of their comfort. And it's disgusting. You think they'll appreciate your sincerity? They won't. They never will. You think they'll look at your kindness and reward you for it? No. They'll trample on it. The moment you show any weakness, any willingness to serve, they'll turn their back on you. They'll use you up, spit you out, and you'll be left with nothing but your shattered hopes. They'll forget you. They'll forget your efforts. And guess what? They'll do it to the next guy too. But you've been different all along. You've always been the villain in their story, and you've always known it. You've always known that when they told you to sit down and shut up, there was something inside of you, something deep down in your core that told you to stand up, scream, and break the chains. That's the real you, the one that's been hidden behind their fake smiles and shallow praises. And this is where it gets interesting, isn't it? Because the truth is, they hate you for the very thing that makes you unstoppable. They hate you for your strength, for your ability to defy their expectations. But you're not here to be liked. You're not here to fit in. You're here to take over. You're here to tear down everything they've built. Because you know that what they've built is nothing but a lie. A lie designed to keep you weak, to keep you compliant. They want you to be good. They want you to follow the rules, stay in line, and be a cog in their little machine. But let me tell you something. Being good doesn't get you power. Being good doesn't get you control. Being good gets you ignored. You think they'll see your worth? They won't. They'll only see your obedience, your willingness to bend to their will, and they'll exploit it every single time. But power gets you everything. You've seen it, haven't you? You've seen the way they react when you finally stop being what they want you to be. When you finally embrace the villain inside, it terrifies them. It shakes them to their core because they've been trained to believe that only the good guys can win. Only the good guys can be powerful. But that's the biggest lie of all. The real power is in the chaos. The real power is in the unpredictability. The real power is in being the villain. So, why keep playing their game? Why keep playing by their rules? They've taught you to play it safe, haven't they? They've taught you that if you follow the rules, if you stay on the straight and narrow, you'll get the rewards. But look around you. Does that look like success? Does that look like the life you want to live? A life where you play it safe? A life where you're nothing but a pawn in their game? A life where you never take risks and never do anything worth remembering? This is your chance to change the narrative. You've been stuck in the same old cycle, trying to please people who don't care, trying to fit into a world that doesn't acknowledge your dreams. And you're sick of it. You're sick of being told to smile and stay quiet. Sick of being told to play the nice guy. Sick of pretending like you're fine, when deep down, you know you're wasting away. You've been made to feel small. They want you to shrink into nothingness, so they can feel better about their pathetic lives. But you've got a fire inside you. You've got a storm brewing, and it's time you let it loose. But here's the thing. You won't do it their way. You won't play by their rules. You won't be the good guy. No, you'll be the one who stands up and says, enough. You'll be the one who says, I'm going to do it my way. And when you finally take that step, when you finally let that chaos consume you, you'll realize that it's the only thing that's ever been real. It's the only thing that's ever been worth your time. The thing is, they're terrified of you. They're terrified of the person you could become. They're terrified of the chaos you could unleash. Why? Because they can't control you. They can't manipulate you. They can't push you around. They can't make you fit into their perfect little world. And that's exactly why they'll try to destroy you. Because the moment you stop caring about their opinions, the moment you stop letting them dictate who you are, that's the moment you become a force of nature. And that's the last thing they want. You're not the hero. You never were. You're the villain. And that's the part they'll never understand. They'll never see you coming. They'll never see you for what you truly are. And by the time they realize it, it'll be too late. Because once you embrace your true nature, once you stop pretending to be what they want you to be, you'll realize that the world is yours to take. And they'll never stop you. They'll never be able to catch up. They'll never be able to break you. You will be the force that changes everything. And when they look at you, when they finally see who you've become, they'll try to push you back, to shove you into their little box. But you'll be too strong, too powerful, too unpredictable. And they'll know, deep down, they'll know they've already lost. You think they'll love you? They won't. But they'll fear you. And that's all you need. They'll always tell you there's a right way to do things, a proper path to follow, a line you must walk, a way to be good. But you know what? They're lying, and they know it. Because here's the truth. They don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to rise above them. They don't want you to outgrow them. They want to keep you down, keep you small, keep you confined in their little box of expectations. But you're not like them. You're not going to let their rules define who you are. You're going to tear everything down. You're going to burn it all to the ground. And when the ashes settle, you'll stand tall, unbroken, unfazed. A force they never saw coming. Why? Because you're not afraid of their judgment. You're not afraid of what they think. You've embraced the villain within you. You've embraced the chaos, the unpredictability, the raw, untamed power that comes with being your true self. You've stopped pretending to be something you're not. And that's when everything changes. The moment you stop trying to please them, the moment you stop trying to play by their rules, you'll realize that the world is yours for the taking. And they'll be powerless to stop you. They'll watch from the sidelines as you rise, as you take what's rightfully yours, as you build your empire from the ashes of their false beliefs. They'll try to tear you down, to break you, but you won't be shattered. You'll stand stronger than ever before. Why? Because you're not afraid of them. You're not afraid of the consequences. You're not afraid to lose their approval. Because you've realized something they'll never understand. You don't need it. You don't need their validation. You don't need their applause. You don't need them at all. What you need is to trust yourself. So, you stand tall. You walk into the storm. And when they try to make you feel small, when they try to pull you down, you remind them of one thing. You are the storm. You've become the villain. And in this world, the villain is the one who wins. They'll try to label you as ruthless, as cold, as dangerous. But you know what? Let them. Because those labels don't mean anything. They're just another way for them to try and keep you in line. Another attempt to force you back into their little box. But you've shattered that box. You've burned it to the ground. They don't see it yet. They don't understand what's happening. But one day, they will. One day, they'll see you standing on top, and they'll realize you were always the one in control. You were always the one who had the power. And it was never about playing by their rules. It was always about breaking free from their prison and creating your own. You are the villain. You are the one who plays the game differently. You're the one who rewrites the rules, who challenges the system, who does what no one else dares to do. And that's what makes you unstoppable. Because while they're busy following the rules, while they're busy trying to play it safe, you're out there taking risks, pushing boundaries, and building your legacy. And when they try to stop you, when they try to silence you, when they try to break you down, you'll remind them of one thing. You can't stop what you can't control. There's something liberating about this, isn't there? To know that you're no longer bound by the expectations of others. To know that you don't need their approval to be successful. To know that the power lies in your hands and that you can shape your future however you choose. The moment you stop seeking validation from others, the moment you stop trying to fit into their mold, that's when you truly become unstoppable. You'll have people who try to tear you down, people who will laugh at your ambition, people who will mock your every move. But here's the thing, they're not laughing at you, they're laughing at themselves, because they can't see the greatness in you. They can't see the power you possess. And that's why they'll always be in the background, always trying to pull you back into the shadows, always trying to make you feel small. But you've broken free from their hold. You've embraced the villain, and now you see the world differently. You don't see obstacles, you see opportunities. You don't see failure, you see lessons. You don't see limits, you see potential. And most importantly, you don't see fear, you see power. So when they try to bring you down, when they try to put you back in your place, just remember they can't touch you. They can't take what you've built. They can't destroy what you've become. Because what you've become is more powerful than anything they could ever imagine. The world is full of people who will try to box you in, who will try to tell you who you should be, what you should do, how you should live. But you've learned that the only box you belong in is the one you create for yourself. You've learned that the only rules that matter are the ones you set for your own life. And that's what makes you different. That's what makes you dangerous. That's what makes you the villain who will leave them speechless. They'll never see it coming. They'll never understand how you did it, how you took their hate, their judgment, their criticism, and turned it into fuel to power your ascent. They'll never understand how you rose above them, how you built your empire while they were stuck, playing it safe. And that's the beauty of it, isn't it? The beauty of being the villain is that they'll never understand how you got to the top. They'll never understand how you turned their attempts to tear you down into the very thing that made you unstoppable. And as they watch from the sidelines, as they see you take what's yours, as they see you rise to heights they could never reach, they'll realize something too late. They'll realize that the villain was the one who always had the power. The villain was the one who always held the keys to their own fate. And that's when the real tragedy happens. For them, not for you. Because while they were busy trying to be the hero, busy trying to be the good guy, you were already writing your own story. And your story doesn't have a happy ending. It has a victorious one. One where you stand tall and proud, knowing that you played by your own rules. Knowing that you never let them control you. And knowing that no matter how much they hate you, no matter how hard they try to break you, you will always be the one who won. You're the villain. And the villain always wins. So let them hate you. Let them judge you. Let them try to tear you down. It doesn't matter. Because in the end, when all is said and done, they'll be left in the dust. And you'll be standing tall, watching them crumble. And you'll know one thing for sure. You were always the one who had the power. And that, my friend, is how you leave them speechless, forever. You see, the thing about cruelty is that it wears many masks. Oh yes, people love their little masks, don't they? They hide behind smiles and pleasantries, masquerading their venom as virtue. But you've seen beneath those masks, haven't you? Felt the poison dripping from their honeyed words. They thought you wouldn't notice, thought you were too blind, too naive to see the daggers hidden behind their backs. But you saw it all, didn't you? Every false smile, every hollow promise, every calculated betrayal. They thought they were so clever, so subtle in their manipulation, but they underestimated just how much you were paying attention. You know what makes them truly cruel? It's not the pain they inflict. Nah, It's the way they make you doubt yourself. They plant seeds of uncertainty in your mind, water them with their toxic whispers, and watch as the weeds of self-doubt strangle your confidence. They're artists, really, masters of psychological warfare. They'll pat you on the back with one hand while digging your grave with the other. And the worst part? They sleep like babies at night, convinced of their own righteousness. They wear their false virtue like armor, believing it shields them from the consequences of their actions. But armor can become a prison, can it? But here's where it gets interesting. You see, they made one fatal mistake. They thought their cruelty would break you, reshape you into their perfect little puppet. They expected you to crack, to shatter into 1,000 pieces they could sweep under the rug and forget about. Oh, how wrong they were. Because what they didn't understand, what they could never understand, is that their cruelty wasn't breaking you. It was transforming you. With every sharp word, every betrayal, every moment of calculated indifference, they were unknowingly forging something unprecedented, something they wouldn't be able to control. Every slight, every betrayal, every moment they thought you weren't watching, it was all being recorded, cataloged, stored away in that beautiful mind of yours. Like a photographer capturing evidence of a crime scene, you documented it all. Every cruel word, every false promise, every moment they thought they had power over you. It's all there, isn't it? Preserved in perfect clarity, like insects in amber. And now you have something they never expected. Proof. Not just of what they did, but of who they truly are. The masks are coming off, and underneath, pure, unadulterated ugliness. The kind they tried so hard to hide, to deny, to project onto others. But justice. Justice is a funny thing, isn't it? They think it comes with trumpets and banners, with judges in robes and gavels pounding on wood. They're wrong. Real justice? It's silent, it's patient. It's the slow unraveling of their carefully constructed lies. It's the moment they realize their masks have become transparent, and everyone can see the monsters lurking underneath. And the best part? They'll never see it coming. They're too wrapped up in their own perceived invincibility, too convinced of their right to inflict pain without consequence. You want to know why? Because true justice doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. It seeps into their world like water into cracks, freezing and expanding until their foundations begin to crumble. Every lie they told, every person they hurt, every bit of cruelty they thought was safely hidden, it's all coming back. Not with a bang, but with the quiet certainty of an avalanche that's already begun its descent. They won't even realize what's happening until it's far too late to stop it. That's the beauty of real justice. It's inevitable, inexorable, unstoppable. They played their game thinking they were the masters of the board, moving pieces at will, sacrificing pawns without consequence. But they forgot one crucial detail. Even pawns can become queens. And you? You've been studying the board all along, learning their moves, understanding their patterns. While they were busy congratulating themselves on their clever manipulations, you were evolving, adapting, becoming something they never accounted for, something beyond their limited imagination, beyond their petty games of control and dominance. You see, that's the beautiful irony of it all. Their cruelty, their carefully calculated attempts to diminish you, to control you, It's become their undoing. Every wound they inflicted has become a lesson. Every betrayal, a strength. Every attempt to break you has only forged you into something stronger, something far more dangerous than they could have imagined. And now you stand at the precipice of something they can't even comprehend, something that will shake their very foundation, rattle the cage they've built around themselves with their own cruel intentions. God saw it all, didn't he? Every whispered lie, every hidden dagger, every mask they wore while inflicting their casual cruelty. He watched as they played their games, thinking themselves clever, thinking themselves justified. But here's the thing about divine justice. It doesn't operate on their timeline. It doesn't follow their rules. It works in ways they can't predict, can't control, can't manipulate. And sometimes, just sometimes, it works through the very people they tried to destroy. The ones they thought they could break and discard. The ones who refused to stay broken, who gathered up their pieces and became something new, something powerful, something unstoppable. And now, as they continue their little charade, wearing their masks, playing their games, they don't realize that the clock is ticking. Justice is coming, but not in the way they expect, not in the way they can prepare for. It's coming through you, through your transformation, through your refusal to remain their victim. You're not just surviving anymore, you're becoming their reckoning. And when the time comes, when their masks finally crack and fall away, they'll understand too late that their greatest mistake wasn't their cruelty, it was choosing you as their target. Because you're not their victim anymore. You're their consequence. They never understood the power of silence, did they? While they were busy making noise, flaunting their supposed superiority, you were watching, learning, growing in the shadows they cast. They thought silence meant weakness, thought your quiet endurance was submission. Oh, how wrong they were. You see, in their arrogance, they forgot a fundamental truth. The deadliest predators don't announce their presence. They wait, they observe, they prepare. And that's exactly what you've been doing, isn't it? Every moment of forced silence has been a lesson in patience. Every suppressed response a masterclass in timing. But here's what really keeps them awake at night, though they'd never admit it. Deep down, in those quiet moments when their masks slip and their pretenses fade, they know something's changed. They can feel it in the air, like the electric charge before a storm. They see it in your eyes now. That unflinching gaze that no longer begs for approval. That unwavering strength that their cruelty accidentally created. You've become the embodiment of their worst fear. Someone who sees through their charade and refuses to play along. Someone who's turned their own game against them. Remember how they used to whisper behind your back, thinking their words would never reach you? But words have a funny way of finding their target, don't they? Each poisoned arrow they launched became another piece of evidence, another reason for what's coming. They thought they were writing your story, defining who you were with their cruel narratives. Instead, they were writing their own doom, signing their names to a debt that's finally come due. And God kept the receipts, every single one of them, every mockery, every betrayal, every calculated attempt to dim your light. It's all been recorded in the ledger of divine justice. You want to know the most delicious part of all this? They can sense it now. the shift in the air when you enter a room, the way their confident smirks falter just slightly when they meet your gaze. They're starting to realize that their actions have consequences, that the universe has a way of balancing its books. They created this situation, crafted it with their own hands, molded it with their cruelty and arrogance. And now they're beginning to understand that they're not the architects of fate they thought they were. They're just players in a game they didn't realize they were starting. See, that's the thing about hidden cruelty. It leaves invisible scars. Scars that run deeper than any physical wound, that reshape not just the flesh, but the very soul beneath it. They thought these scars would weaken you, mark you as their victim forever. Instead, these scars became your armor, your proof of survival, your testament to endurance. Each one tells a story not of defeat, but of resurrection, not of weakness, but of incredible strength. They tried to write your tragedy, but instead, they authored their own downfall. Justice doesn't always wear a badge or carry a gavel. Sometimes it wears the face of the very person they tried to destroy. It speaks with the voice they tried to silence. It moves with the strength they tried to sap. You're not just a survivor anymore. You're become justice incarnate. Every step you take forward is another crack in their carefully constructed facade. Every success you achieve is another nail in the coffin of their superiority complex. And the best part? You don't have to lift a finger against them. Your very existence, your continued rise, your unwavering progress, that's all the justice you need. They thought they could play God, didn't they? Deciding who deserves respect, who deserves dignity, who deserves a chance to thrive. They handed out cruelty like they were distributing divine judgment, never once considering that real divine justice might have other plans. But God saw. God always sees. And sometimes, divine justice works through the most unexpected channels, through the ones they thought they could break, through the ones who refused to be broken, through you. The weight of their actions is starting to press down on them now. You can see it in the slight tremor of their hands, the nervous laughter that doesn't quite reach their eyes, the way they glance over their shoulders when they think no one's watching. They're beginning to understand that karma isn't just a concept, it's a promise. A promise that every action has its equal reaction, that every moment of cruelty creates a debt that must be paid. And the interest on their debt? It's been compounding all this time. You've become something they never expected, a mirror reflecting back their own darkness, a living reminder of their failures, a testament to the power of divine justice. Every success you achieve, every step you take forward, every moment you stand tall despite their attempts to break you. It's all part of a greater plan, a plan they set in motion with their own cruelty, but one that God has repurposed for something far more powerful than revenge. This isn't about getting even. It's about rising so far above their petty games that they become insignificant, their cruelty rendered powerless in the face of your transformation. The justice that's coming isn't swift like lightning or loud like thunder. It's methodical, inevitable, like the turning of the earth or the rising of the sun. It's in the way their lies are beginning to unravel, the way their masks are starting to slip, the way their carefully constructed world is showing cracks they can't explain. They wanted to play with fire? Well, now they're about to learn that some flames can't be controlled, some forces can't be contained, and some consequences can't be avoided. Divine justice has a poetry to it that no human orchestration could ever match, and you're about to become its masterpiece. You know what's beautiful about divine justice? It has a way of turning the tables so completely, so irrevocably, that those who once thought themselves powerful find themselves utterly powerless. They wielded their cruelty like a weapon, thinking it made them strong, thinking it made them untouchable. But now they're starting to understand something fundamental about the universe. Every action creates an equal and opposite reaction. Every moment of cruelty they inflicted has been transformed into a force they can't control, a reckoning they can't escape, a justice they never saw coming. They thought they were writing your story, didn't they? Thought they could define you with their whispers, their mockery, their calculated acts of cruelty. They cast themselves as the authors of your fate, the architects of your downfall. But here's the plot twist they never saw coming. While they were busy writing your tragedy, God was writing their redemption story. Not the kind of redemption they wanted, oh nah. The kind that comes through fire, through transformation, through the complete dismantling of everything they thought they knew about power and control. See, that's the thing about hidden cruelty. It leaves fingerprints everywhere. On the soul, it tries to crush. On the spirit, it attempts to break. On the heart, it aims to shatter. They thought these marks would be their signature, their proof of dominance. Instead, they've become evidence. Evidence that God has been collecting, cataloging, preserving for just the right moment. Every tear they caused, every dream they tried to destroy, every hope they attempted to crush, it's all been documented in the eternal ledger of divine justice. And now the payments are coming due, but not in the way they expect, not in the way they can prepare for. This isn't about revenge. Revenge is too small, too human, too limited for what's unfolding. This is about transformation, about the butterfly emerging from the chrysalis they tried to crush, about the phoenix rising from the ashes they scattered, about the warrior emerging from the wounds they inflicted. They thought they were destroying you, but they were merely participating in your metamorphosis. Every act of cruelty became another layer of your armor. Every attempt to break you became another forge, strengthening your steel. You want to know what really terrifies them now? It's not the fear of exposure, though, that keeps them up at night. It's not the dread of consequences, though that shadows their every step. Nah, what truly terrifies them is the way you've changed, the way you stand now, unbowed, unbroken, unafraid. They see in your eyes something they never expected to create, a force of nature disguised as a person. Someone who's not just survived their cruelty, but transcended it. Someone who's taken their attempts to destroy and turned them into fuel for something magnificent. The justice that's coming isn't just about evening scores or settling accounts. It's about fundamental transformation, about showing them in the most undeniable way possible that their power was always an illusion, that their cruelty, their manipulation, their careful construction of pain, it was all just building the foundation for their own undoing. Because here's the truth they're finally beginning to grasp. God doesn't just see the cruelty they inflict, He repurposes it, takes their poison and turns it into medicine, takes their warfare and turns it into victory. They never understood the true nature of power, did they? Thought it came from their ability to hurt, to control, to dominate. But real power comes from transformation, from taking everything they threw at you, every insult, every betrayal, every calculated cruelty, and alchemizing it into something they can't comprehend, something that makes their petty games of power look like child's play, something that turns their own weapons against them without ever having to lift a finger in retaliation. Watch how they scramble now, trying to maintain their grip on the narrative they created. See how they struggle to understand what's happening as their carefully constructed world begins to unravel. They're realizing, too late, that every act of cruelty they committed wasn't just a sin against you. It was a brick in the foundation of their own downfall. Every mask they wore while inflicting pain has become a mirror, reflecting back the ugliness they tried to hide. Every shadow they cast has become a spotlight, illuminating the truth they tried to bury. Divine justice doesn't just balance the scales, it rewrites the entire equation. It takes their attempts to diminish you and turns them into the very thing that elevates you beyond their reach. Takes their efforts to silence you and transforms them into a voice that resonates with power they can't silence. Takes their strategy to isolate you and turns it into a strength they can't penetrate. They thought they were writing a story of destruction, but God was orchestrating a symphony of reconstruction all along. Remember their faces now, in this moment of dawning realization. Remember the way their confidence cracks, the way their certainty crumbles, the way their power dissipates like smoke in the wind. Not because you've done anything to them. Nah, you've risen far beyond the need for petty revenge. Remember it because it's proof of a fundamental truth they never understood. That true power doesn't come from the ability to inflict cruelty, but from the capacity to transcend it. To take everything they thought would destroy you and use it as the foundation for something they could never imagine. The justice that's coming isn't just about their downfall. It's about your rise. About the way you've taken every dark intention, every hidden cruelty, every calculated attempt to break you, and transformed it into something luminous. Something that doesn't just survive their darkness, but illuminates it, exposes it, renders it powerless. They wanted to write your ending, but instead, they only wrote the prelude to your beginning. And now they get to witness what happens when divine justice doesn't just restore, it revolutionizes. This is the moment they never saw coming, when their hidden cruelty becomes the very thing that empowers your visible triumph. When their attempts to write your tragedy become the ink that God uses to write their lesson. When every shadow they cast becomes another light in your constellation of strength. They thought they were breaking you down, but they were just breaking down the barriers to your true potential. They thought they were witnessing your end, but they were only watching your genesis. And so here you stand, not a victim of their cruelty, but a testament to divine justice, not broken by their attempts to destroy you, but transformed by your refusal to be destroyed. Every mask they wore, every lie they told, every wound they inflicted, it's all become part of your armor now, part of your strength, part of your story, but not the story they thought they were writing. Nah, this is a story of divine justice, of transformation, of power they can't comprehend, and strength they can't corrupt. Let them watch now, as their hidden cruelty becomes the foundation of your visible victory. Let them witness as their attempts to dim your light become the very thing that makes you shine brighter. Let them understand, finally and completely, that every act of cruelty they committed wasn't just seen by God. It was transformed by Him into something they never expected, something they can't control, something that will remind them for the rest of their days that true power doesn't come from the ability to inflict pain, but from the capacity to transform it into purpose. You know what's funny about darkness? It's not the absence of light that terrifies people. Oh no, 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 it's what lurks within it. The unknown, the uncertainty. The monster they can't see but know is there, watching, waiting, evolving. And that's exactly what they did to you, didn't they? They pushed you into their little pit of darkness, thinking they'd break you, thinking they'd watch you crumble like all the others before you. But here's the thing about monsters. We don't fear the dark. We are the dark. See, they made one teeny tiny mistake. They thought darkness was a prison, but they didn't realize it's a crucible. Every second you spend here, every moment you endure in this void, you're not dying. Nah, you're transforming, like raw metal in a forge. Except your transformation isn't about becoming another shiny tool in their belt. It's about becoming the blade that cuts through their illusions, the weapon they never saw coming, and the nightmare that keeps them awake at night. You want to know the real joke? They think they've weakened you by isolating you, by cutting you off from their precious normal world. But isolation is where legends are born. It's where you learn to hear the whispers of your own madness, where you start to understand that sanity is just a prison built by weak minds for weak minds. And you're breaking free. Remember how they looked at you? Those condescending smiles, those pitying glances, those whispered conversations that stopped the moment you entered the room. They thought they were judges, jury, and executioners of your fate. But what they really did was sign their own comedic tragedy. Because while they were busy playing their little social games, you were learning the rules of a much darker game: survival. Let me tell you something about pain. It's the most honest teacher you'll ever have. It doesn't lie, doesn't sugarcoat, doesn't pretend to be your friend. Pain shows you exactly who you are when everything else is stripped away. And what did pain show you? That you're not some fragile little thing that breaks at the first sign of pressure. Nah, you're something else entirely. You're the embodiment of their worst fears, the manifestation of their darkest nightmares. In their comfortable little world, they think suffering is a curse. But you and I, we know better. Suffering is an art form, and pain is the chisel that carves away everything weak, everything unnecessary, until what remains is something so beautiful, so terrifying, that they won't be able to look away, even though every instinct will be screaming at them to run. That's the power they didn't count on. The strength that grows in the shadows, fed by their own attempts to destroy it. You see, when they pushed you into the darkness, they expected you to become a victim. Another sad story for them to cluck their tongues at. Another example of what happens to those who don't fit into their neat little boxes. But instead, you became something they never expected. You became their reckoning. Every sneer, every rejection, every moment they thought they were breaking you, it was all just fuel for the inferno building inside you. A fire that burns so hot, it makes their pathetic little flames look like matches in a hurricane. The funny thing about being a monster, it's liberating. When they've already decided you're their worst nightmare, you're free to become something beyond their wildest fears. They cast you as the villain in their story, never realizing they were actually creating their own demise. Because while they were busy congratulating themselves on your downfall, you were learning to thrive in the very darkness they feared. You were becoming the thing that makes their shadows run and hide. Think of it like a joke. The setup was them thinking they could break you, the punchline. Well, that's going to be when they realize what they actually created. When they see that every attempt to extinguish your light only taught you to burn brighter, darker, hotter than they could ever imagine. And the best part, they'll never see it coming. Because that's what happens when you underestimate the things that go bump in the night. Eventually, those things start bumping back. And oh, what a glorious sound that makes. Every scar they gave you, it's not a mark of weakness. It's a trophy. A reminder that they tried to end you, and instead, they just gave you another reason to rise. Each betrayal, each lie, each moment they thought they were winning, it was just another lesson in your evolution. You see, that's the beauty of being pushed into the darkness. You learn to see things they can't. You develop senses they'll never understand, strength they'll never comprehend. So embrace it. This darkness they thrust upon you, make it your kingdom. Their attempts to silence you, let them become your war cry. Because monsters don't need permission to exist, and demons don't ask forgiveness for the chaos they create. They pushed you into the darkness thinking you'd disappear. Instead, you're going to show them why monsters don't fear the dark. We thrive in it, rule it, become it. And when we finally step back into the light, well, that's when the real show begins. The curtain rises, the audience waits, unaware that they're not watching the performance. They're part of it. And you're the grand finale they never saw coming. You know what makes me laugh? How they think time in the darkness breaks people. Oh, but they don't understand. Time doesn't break monsters. It perfects them. Every tick of the clock, every passing moment in this void they created, it's not counting down to your defeat. Nah, it's counting up to their reckoning, like a pressure cooker of chaos, building, building, building until boom. And when that moment comes, they'll realize their greatest mistake wasn't pushing you into the darkness. It was giving you time to become one with it. See, here's the thing about being alone in the dark. You start to notice things. Little things at first, like how silence has its own heartbeat, how shadows dance even when there's no light to cast them. But then you start noticing the bigger things, like how their so-called strength is just a mask they wear, how their power is nothing but a house of cards waiting for the right breeze to topple it. And you're becoming the storm. They don't understand what isolation does to a mind like yours. They think it makes you weak, makes you desperate for their acceptance, their validation. But isolation is like gravity. It compresses everything inside you, turning coal into diamonds, turning pain into power, turning rage into a weapon so refined it could slice through their illusions like they're made of smoke. And the pressure? Oh, the pressure doesn't crush you. It crystallizes you. Let me share a secret about fear. It's not your enemy. Fear is just excitement wearing a mask, and you've learned to see behind every mask, haven't you? While they were busy being afraid of the dark, you were learning its language, its rhythm, its dance. You've become fluent in the dialect of shadows, and now you can make the darkness sing. Think about it. Every moment they thought you were suffering, you were actually evolving. Every time they celebrated your apparent defeat, you were gathering strength. Like a volcano they thought was dormant, they built their little lives right on top of you, never realizing that underneath you were becoming a force of nature. And nature? Nature doesn't ask permission to erupt. Here's what really makes them uncomfortable. They can sense the change in you. They see it in your eyes, in the way you move, in the way you smile now. That's why they whisper when you pass by, why they avoid your gaze. Because deep down, in that primal part of their brain that remembers what it's like to be prey, they know. They know they're no longer the hunters they thought they were. You want to know the punchline to their little joke? While they were trying to write you off as a tragedy, you were busy becoming a force of chaos. They wanted to make you small, make you fit into their tiny boxes of normal and acceptable. But you exploded those boxes from the inside out. Now you're something they can't categorize, can't control, can't comprehend. And that terrifies them more than any monster under the bed ever could. See, darkness has a way of stripping away the unnecessary. All those social niceties, all those little lies we tell ourselves to feel civilized, they mean nothing in the void. What's left is pure, undiluted truth. And the truth is, you're not broken, you're not damaged. You're transformed, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, except your fire burns black instead of bright, and your wings are made of shadows instead of flames. They pushed you thinking you'd fall forever, but what they didn't realize is that even in a bottomless pit, you can learn to fly. Every attempt to clip your wings just taught you a new way to soar. Every chain they tried to bind you with became another weapon in your arsenal. Because that's what monsters do. We don't just survive, we thrive on their attempts to destroy us. The real comedy in all this? They're still playing by their old rules, still thinking they understand the game. But you've changed the game entirely. While they were busy trying to make you play their version of chess, you were creating a whole new board with pieces they've never seen and moves they can't predict. And the best part? They won't realize they've lost until it's far too late. This darkness they gave you, it's not your prison anymore. It's your playground. Every shadow they cast is just another place for you to hide. Another tool in your arsenal, another piece of the puzzle they'll never solve. Because that's the thing about monsters. We don't just live in the dark, we learn to bend it to our will. We become the architects of nightmares, the composers of chaos, the artists of anarchy. So let them think they've won. Let them believe their little victory stories. Because while they're busy patting themselves on the back, you're becoming something beyond their comprehension. A creature born of their own cruelty, shaped by their rejection, forged in the fires of their disdain. And when you finally emerge, They'll realize that every moment they thought they were burying you, they were actually planting something. Something that's taken root in the darkness, something that's grown strong in the shadows, something that's about to bloom in ways they never imagined possible. You see, there's something beautiful about reaching the point of no return. That moment when you realize you've crossed a line they drew in their sand, and instead of feeling fear, you feel liberation. Because that's what they never understood about pushing people too far. Sometimes, just sometimes, they create something that pushes back. And oh, how you're going to push back. Remember when they thought their words could break you? Their little whispers, their judgments, their attempts to make you feel small? Now look at you. Every insult they threw became a brick in your foundation. Every rejection became a pillar of your strength. Every time they tried to dim your light, they just taught you how to burn darker, deeper, more intensely than they could ever imagine. You're not just surviving anymore. You're becoming their worst nightmare wrapped in their greatest fear. Let me tell you about power. Real power. It's not in their fancy titles or their corner offices or their social media followers. Real power? It's in the way you can smile now, knowing that their attempts to destroy you only made you more dangerous. It's in the way you can stand in their presence, radiating the very darkness they tried to drown you in. Because while they were playing their little games of status and control, you were learning the ultimate truth. The only power that matters is the power they can't take away. And isn't that just hilarious? They thought they were writing your ending, but instead, they were just setting up the perfect punchline. Every tear they made you shed, that's fuel now. Every night they left you alone, that was just you getting comfortable with the darkness. Every door they slammed in your face, well, that just taught you how to break down walls. They thought they were the authors of your story, but you've become the plot twist they never saw coming. Here's the thing about monsters they create. We don't play by their rules anymore. We don't seek their approval or beg for their acceptance. We've learned something they never will. True freedom comes when you stop trying to fit into their world and start making the world fit around you. Like a shadow that grows longer as the sun sets, you've expanded beyond their ability to measure or contain. You want to know the real punchline to this cosmic joke? While they were busy trying to break you, they actually broke themselves. Every attempt to contain you just showed the limits of their own power. Every effort to define you just revealed how undefined and limitless you've become. They created a monster, sure, but not the kind they expected. You're the kind that makes their monsters check under their beds at night. Think about metamorphosis, not the pretty kind with butterflies and flowers, but the raw, primal kind. The kind where something breaks itself down to its core components and rebuilds into something entirely new. That's what's happened to you. They thought they were witnessing your destruction, but really, they were watching your rebirth. And now you're something they don't have words for, something their tiny minds can't comprehend. The poetry of it all is almost too perfect. They pushed you into the abyss, thinking you'd dissolve into nothing. Instead, you became the abyss itself. Deep, endless, unfathomable. They can feel it when you're near, that sense of standing at the edge of something vast and dark and powerful. That's not fear they're feeling anymore. It's recognition. Recognition of what they've created, of what they've unleashed. So here we are, at the crescendo of their little tragedy. Except it's not a tragedy, is it? It's a transformation story. A story about how their greatest mistake wasn't pushing you into the darkness. It was assuming you'd be destroyed by it. Instead, you've become something more than they could ever imagine. Something that doesn't just survive in the darkness, but thrives in it, rules it, becomes it. And now you get to show them what real power looks like. Not the kind that needs to announce itself, not the kind that demands attention or recognition. Nah. You're the kind of power that walks silently, that moves in shadows, that makes them question everything they thought they knew about strength and weakness, about victory and defeat. Let them see what they've created. Let them witness the full magnitude of their miscalculation. Because while they were playing checkers with your life, you were learning to manipulate reality itself. While they thought they were casting you into oblivion, they were actually giving birth to their own undoing. And isn't that just the perfect punchline to their joke? So stand tall in your darkness. Let it wrap around you like armor. Let it fill you like breath. Let it guide you like instinct. Because you're not just another cautionary tale. You're the story that keeps them awake at night, the shadow that makes them question their own reality, the monster that reminds them why they should have been more careful about what they created when they pushed you too far. Remember, monsters don't fear the dark. We are the dark. And now it's time to show them exactly what that means.